Hey everyone, it's Burke Allen live with our Big Time Talker podcast as we broadcast from the main floor of the Philadelphia Convention Center for the American Library Association's annual conference in the city of brotherly love. The podcast made possible in part by SpeakerMatch.com, the world's largest online speakers bureau. If you're an author, a speaker, or a meeting planner, you can find one another at SpeakerMatch.com, and by our friends at Headline Books and Zoom into Books, their online video platform. Today's guest is Patricia Miller, and she writes spooky, scary, mysterious stories. She's a new Headline Books author, and we welcome you to the broadcast pavilion here at the American Library Association Conference. Hello!
Hello, so glad to be here.
You came from where today?
Ohio.
Ohio.
Yes.
Now, I read on your website, you're from, what's the name of the town?
Sugar Creek.
Sugar Creek. And my recollection is that is deep in the heart of Amish country.
It very much is, yes.
Does that mean that you can build furniture like no other?
No, I can't do that.
No, but you can write like no other. And the book that you have today, Mysterious Tales of the Unexplained, is it the fourth volume in this series?
It's the fourth, yep.
So what got you into writing these spooky stories for young folks?
Probably Agatha Christie. I had a love for Agatha Christie pretty young, and I'm glad that they're actually redoing them and like recreating them and making them even more exciting, because I think she has some amazing contributions to the literary world. And so I was reading Agatha Christie, and I decided that I really loved the whole mystery idea, red herrings, put all those clues in there, and people just have to put them together in the right way and figure it out. And that to me is the exciting part. So I decided to do middle grade mysteries. So I took Agatha Christie, put it down to middle grade. They're really very much like cozy mysteries. So I have readers from ages 12 all the way into 80s. But the exciting thing is I get to work with student illustrators. So I do a sketch submission process,
right,
and they send all their sketches in, and then I choose them from there. So they're from all over the state of Ohio right now. I've gone to West Virginia to a lot of Bookfests, and they keep asking me to expand into West Virginia. That might happen. We'll see. I'm not quite there.
You might go nationwide at some point with this whole thing.
It would be fun. It really would.
So I have to paint the picture. If you're listening to the podcast now, we're in this glass-enclosed nerve center in the middle of the convention floor at the Philadelphia Convention Center. There are thousands of people around us. You can probably hear the din of the entire book world is here. All the publishers, the agents, the authors. There's a lot of buzzy excitement. You apparently have a fan, a stalker, who's filming you right now with a cell phone in the background.
That's my hubby.
As far as we know, that is your husband. We don't need to call security on the guy?
No, I don't think so. He's affectionately been called my Sherpa.
I like it. Everyone needs a Sherpa.
Absolutely.
Is he for hire? If he's for hire,
no, he's just mine.
It's all yours. Hey, you mentioned when you were a kid you read Agatha Christie. How important do you think it is, if you're going to be an author, to be an avid reader?
Oh, you have to be. And what was so exciting for me about Agatha Christie, and by the way, I keep rereading, even as an adult, I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
She's got some really spooky ones that are more adult. And people don't really know that because they just know the most famous ones.
Right.
They don't know some of the other ones that are really, really creepy, like And Then There Were None, which used to be called 10 Little Indians at the beginning. So what I liked about it is I realized that she's the master. So why not learn? So I decided to look at her patterns, see how she did it, sort of outline or sort of digest it a little bit.
Yep.
Then I try to recreate it with my own ideas, which is so much fun.
You mentioned fun. What's the most fun part of your job? What's the most fun part of being an author?
Well, for me, it's the clever twists and turns, adding the little bit here and there, going this direction for a while, going this direction for a while, and then having it all dovetail at the end. That's sort of like a feel-good moment when you're able to pull it all together. And then when I get the illustrators involved, that to me, I've just got chills thinking about it, because Volume 5 is going to be coming out this fall. And I have even better illustrations than ever. It seems like every year they up their game. So I'm excited about it. I love working with the kids. And I think I might have mentioned this last year. I think it was Volume 3. Yeah, I think it was Volume 3. And I had my they're collections, by the way. There's 4 mysteries in each book. And I had my 4 chosen. And when I was putting them together, I'm like, no, this one just does not fit. So I put it aside for another volume. And what I did was I took 3 pictures, 3 sketches that were not going to fit in. And I wrote the story from the sketches, which was super cool. So I did it backwards.
You have a lot of like mysterious, spooky things that happen in Sugar Creek. Where does the inspiration for these stories come from?
Life, just in life. I might even be sitting here and I might put something together. One of the funniest ones was I was at a brewery, listening to a friend's band.
Yeah.
And they're sitting sort of like we are with glass behind them. And I see the vats behind them down on the floor. And I see a window that's in an office. And out of nowhere, okay, someone could have a fight. They hit him. It's a little too hard. Now we got to get rid of the body through the window. Got to make sure the window's big enough to get the body through. And then down into the vat.
I might need to talk to your husband, Steve, about this entire mental process that you go through where you're sitting in a place watching music and suddenly a murder happens in your head. Boy needs to sleep with one eye open. Patricia Miller is our guest today at Zoom Into Books. She's a new author with Headline Books. She's been writing a long time. The latest book is Mysterious Tales of the Unexplained Volume 4, Murder on Blood Red Island. Kids
Yes.
and reading.
Yes. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
So I'm a mental health therapist for 35 years. And 10 years ago, I was hired by Cleveland Clinic to develop a curriculum for what's called an intensive outpatient program. When a person goes to an intensive outpatient program, it means that outpatient one-on-one just isn't working. It's not enough.
Right.
So I developed the program from DBT skills, dialectical behavioral therapy, and it's still going. It's at Union Hospital in Dover, Ohio. I still work there part-time. And it's been so successful, and I'm not like blowing my own horn. DBT is just so fantastic when it's taught right and done right. It's magical. So most of the adults that I've worked with, both in an intensive outpatient and an outpatient, are saying, why aren't we teaching this to our kids? And so I decided maybe I need to be doing this. So about 3.5, 4 years ago, I turned my attention to doing that. And I started this children's mindfulness picture book series. And it's taken 3 years for it to actually get to where it's ready to be published. But I'm thoroughly excited that Headline Books has decided to take it on. I'm so excited about it.
Congratulations on the upcoming adventure.
Thank you.
With young people, when you meet them, I've always been fascinated by the fact that the kids do like scary, creepy things. I mean, look at R.L. Stein, for example.
Yeah,
He's done okay. You could be there, but what is it you think about kids? Because you talk to a lot of young readers now.
I have.
That attracts them to the mysterious tales of the unexplained.
I think it's the ones that like the creepiness put together with solving the mystery. Each book has a little bit of a ghost type, paranormal type story in it.
Right.
And I also like adding magic realism. So where we have a lot of realistic things going on, but yet there's a magical touch that's just comes in out of nowhere and just weaves into the whole story. So I think that if you can get something exciting, but yet it still helps them with their critical thinking, they're not realizing it, but they're working on their thinking by figuring out the mystery. And I think the illustrations just put the icing on the cake. It just brings all those scenes to life. I couldn't draw to save my life. So I love that I write, and the wonderful young artists, they depict all the scenes perfectly.
If you're a young person and you're not into reading, or better yet, let's flip that. You're a mom or a dad, and you have a young person, a middle-aged kid that is just not picking a book up, and maybe they're in front of the video games all the time. As an author, that's your target audience.
It sure is.
Tips on how to get young people interested in reading.
I think find out what they like, what they're interested in,
Right.
and then try to find books that involve those topics. I can't tell you the number of parents that have brought kids to book fairs that I've been at, and they'll be like, hey, look at these, And I think it's the combination of the graphic illustrations. That's why they like graphic novels.
Sure.
And putting together, enough of the text and the media and the mystery to work their mind but you got to have both. I think that's the key. When I first started this, I didn't think about doing the illustrations. I was writing my first one, and there was a parent sitting beside me. I was in the bleachers. My son was in a 12 and under baseball team, and I was writing away while they were practicing, and she asked me what I was doing. She said, my son kind of draws. And I said, well, can I kind of see what he does? and it ended up being on the cover of book 1. It was phenomenal. And that's when I got the idea. Why not involve kids into this as well? So
make them part of the process.
Yeah. And I think that the artists have actually gotten interested in reading when they see that their work or work of other young artists are being incorporated into the mystery. So what I think is really cool about my series is that it has an amateur sleuth that follows in at least 2 of each of the stories in each volume, but she has a boyfriend. And so she thinks she's the best sleuth. She doesn't realize that if she didn't have him, her Sherpa, she wouldn't be able to do her job quite as well. So he compliments her well, and they have a really fun banter going on as well.
Do adults ever come up to you and say, hey, listen, I know you wrote these for young people, but I'm kind of digging it?
Absolutely.
There's no shame there, right?
No, not at all. I just tell them they're cozies. So what that means is that, yeah, maybe there's murder and, bad things happen, but the gore and the blood and the guts is off the page.
Right.
And I do that on purpose because I want the main focus to be solving the mystery. So I don't want people getting hung up into the gore part of it. So, you'd be surprised. If I say I love Agatha Christie, some people say I loved her as a kid, but I love it when someone says, I still read her. And I say, so do I. I absolutely love it. And I don't know if you know this, but there's new authors taking her characters and writing new stories.
I did hear about that.
It's
very cool.
Very, very cool. I read one over Christmas. I was so excited about it. At first, I was very apprehensive, like nobody can do it like Agatha. And then I thought, well, Patty, you're trying, so why can't other people try?
Exactly.
So, and I loved it. I am on an Agatha Christie Facebook site, and I was talking to some of them on there, and they're like, just give it a go, have an open mind, and I'm so glad I did.
Patricia Miller, not only an author, but a fan of other great writers. Hey, you said these books are anthologies. They have short stories.
Well, they're collections.
Anthologies.
Well,
there's a difference.
Yes, anthologies is a book when you have several authors contributing.
Yes.
Which I've contributed to 2 anthologies. Well, actually 3. One was published last year, and I got into 2 this year, so 2 will be published.
But a collection is when it's all your short stories.
All yours.
I wonder if the short story piece might also attract young readers too, because they don't have the big commitment. You're not asking them to read War and Peace.
It does. And I purposely do large print because I have readers all the way into their 80s, and I'm like them. I don't like to squint. So I do it for them, but I also do it for the younger because it does make it more enjoyable. And you're right, short stories will pull them in because they don't take forever to read. You can read a short story in half an hour, 45 minutes.
Patricia Miller is our guest. Most importantly, before we let you go, many people may not realize this, but you are in fact married to Steve Miller, and he has a band. Oh, we
no,
should
he
put that
can't
out there.
sing.
He has no musical talent at all. He's pretty good with his cell phone. He's filming us here in the Glass Enclosed Nerve Center at the Podcast Pavilion. We're in Philadelphia at the Convention Center at the American Library Association Summer Conference with thousands of other great writers. But Patricia Miller graced our booth today, and it's great to have you in the studio. If people want to find your books and find out more about you, what do they do?
They can go to my Facebook page, which is Patricia Miller Author. They can find me on Amazon. My books are everywhere. Amazon, Books A Million, Walmart.com, Barnes & Noble, anywhere that they sell books, you can get my books.
Best of luck with the new deal with Headline Books. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so excited about it.
Patricia Miller is an author of lots of books. The latest is Mysterious Tales of the Unexplained. It's volume 4 in the series, Murder on Blood Red Island. Hey, thanks for checking out our podcast today. We have new episodes every Tuesday. You can subscribe at Apple, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And be sure to check out Patricia Miller and all her work online. Thank you so much for making us part of your day. Live from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. I'm Burke Allen on the Big Time Talker podcast. For our producer, Joseph, and the whole staff here, thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Now go out and make it a great day. Bye, everybody.